Christmas Eve through New Year's Day. They say drivers can keep both themselves and others safe by buckling up, putting the phone down, watching the speed, and driving sober. Jared Bright is the regional director of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and on the Carney Show, he talked about the importance of responsible driving.
MAD's mission is to end impaired driving, but it's the entire traffic safety space where we're really trying to make an impact that we know will directly relate behavioral decision-making processes that individuals make when they get behind the wheel impaired.
Anyone who has been impacted by a drunk or drug driver is encouraged to contact the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Victim Helpline at 1-877-MAD-HELP. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A popular downtown St. Louis bar will be closing its doors after 11 years in the business. The Wheelhouse will close after its New Year's Eve party tonight. The Wheelhouse owners did not disclose the reason for closing. And this look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Right now on Wall Street, Dow Jones is down 182 points to 48,184. S&P 500 is down 24 to 6,871. NASDAQ down 80 to 23,338. KTRS Sports, the St. Louis Blues are on the road as they face the Colorado Avalanche tonight with the puck drop set for 8 o'clock. Robert Thomas, Justin Falk will lead the Blues as they face the Avalanche, who are on an 8-game winning streak. Conference play begins tonight at Chaifetz Arena as the St. Louis Billikens men's basketball team plays host to St. Joseph's today at 3 in the afternoon. The Billikens have gone 10-0 in home games, averaging 13 turnovers per game, and is 2-0 when having fewer turnovers than their opponents. KTRS weather, no precipitation in the forecast today. A mix of sun and clouds, high of 43. Tonight, New Year's Eve, cloudy, overnight low of 27. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, high of 38. Right now, we have 35 degrees. The time is 10:07. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now, the Frank and Jill Show. It's Frank Cusimano, Jill Farmer on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. Powered by STL Medical Weight Loss. See the Dr. Joe difference at stlmedweightloss.com.
Good morning and welcome. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Jill is off today. The great Steve Savard in studio. Connor McCarthy is here. Right off the bat, big plans tonight, sir?
Happy New Year, by the way.
Yes.
To you. No, we do not. Been on the planet now for 62 years, so you know how this goes.
Yes.
I will say this. I had taken some notes for the show. One of the best New Year's – can I get into the story real quickly here?
As long as it's not one of your big three, but go ahead.
No, it's not. 1999. You remember all the hype about Y2K and what's going to happen to all the computers? And, you know, there was a theory that, boy, if you're in the skies, the air traffic control systems were going to shut down and all this stuff. So the Rams' meaningless season finale at Philadelphia, we normally would have traveled on Saturday, which was New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Instead, we traveled on Friday because they didn't want. But Georgia threw a nice party at the team hotel for New Year's Eve on Saturday night.
Okay.
And those of us who didn't have to play the next day enjoyed it. The wives went on the broadcast team. Mike was doing the play-by-play, but I was on the broadcast team. Anyway, that was one of the more enjoyable New Year's Eves we've had, and the tab was on Georgia Frontier.
Wow. I'd love to hear from our texters if they are planning a wild night tonight or if they sit it out. I think more people sit it out now. I'm going to do Billiken game at 3 and then a couple of people over for chili at 5. So it's going to be kind of a quiet night.
You just go to the Billikens game. You're not working today.
Not working, yes.
Okay.
Have one more day off. We got a good guest list, by the way. We're going to talk with Ricky Prohl, speaking of the 1999 Rams. He'll join us at 10:35. At 11:05, the great Kelly Chase is going to join us. And in between, a guy named Phil Courtney, who is a friend of Steve's, a friend of mine. He should have been on the cast of The Sopranos. And he is going to tell, I heard this story the other night for the first time, one of the greatest stories you've ever heard about a 16-year-old boy when he was 16. Do you know the story?
Probably do, yes.
Has something to do with cash. Lots of cash.
Oh, yeah. Listen.
You got them.
I've heard, do you know how many of these stories I've heard over the years at Charlie Gito's from that group? So I think I have heard this.
Okay.
But Phil's a great storyteller, and he'll sell it anyway.
No 16-year-old has ever lived this, what you're going to hear at about 10:50 today. One quick item, I want to get your take on this. Just talked with Harold Lewis, the former sports agent, still sports agent, does a lot of work. He's also helping out college kids with some of their deals. And he represents Jamal Roberts, and tweeted this out a couple of days ago. Jamal is going to stay. And it absolutely stunned a lot of people because you thought, look, you're averaging 6 yards a carry, 700 yards. You are really elite. You can be a starter at a lot of schools. He decided to turn down significantly more money, and this is factual, because he loves Mizzou. He loves his parents driving 90 minutes. And Harold says he also, one aspect of it is, it's going to be kind of fresh. He's going to be leaving college, and he's not going to be beat to death.
That's an interesting. I hadn't thought about that angle, but leave it to Harold Lewis to think of it, because that's his job to think of it.
Yeah.
And maximize paydays for athletes. But, I think in this day and age, it's very unusual, and I think it's great, but I think it's even more incumbent. Let me just say this on Eli Drinkwitz and his staff to make sure they have the quarterback situation figured out and buttoned down as much as you can, because it didn't go well this year. The longer, I know Bo got hurt, but the longer Bo played, the more you saw why he wasn't starting at Penn State. The young kid doesn't seem like he's completely ready yet. Don't waste the 1-2 duo of Hardy and Roberts. Yeah. You do not want to waste that while you have that going and driving. Imagine you've got a couple of guys. Jamal Roberts, Hardy set the all-time Mizzou record, which was only a couple years old because of Cody a couple years ago. If I believe Jamal's good, he's good enough. If he were the guy, he might have set that record this year.
Yeah, he's that special.
He's that special. He's a little different. He's not quite the hammer that Hardy is, but he may be a little niftier and more maneuverable. But listen, when you got those two guys, that should open up the passing game. That should open everything up. Guys are coming into the box. You're going to get 7- and 8-man boxes sometimes, and that should open up the perimeter. And they've had good wide receivers. They got to figure out the quarterback situation now. Don't waste the talent.
Yeah, great thought. You know what? I was amazed when I tweeted this out a couple of days ago about he's coming back. People were like, there was a percentage of people that were upset. Oh, you can't do this. You can't spend money on this position because you have to get those wide receivers. You have to get those defensive backs. You have to get those offensive linemen. And I like the fact that people are thinking, hey, we're all in this together. There's a certain budget. But bottom line is, if Jamal Roberts returns to your team, you're a better football team.
Well, look at the trend in the NFL now. Teams are starting to run the ball again, and they're doing it with a pair of backs, not necessarily. Yeah. You're always going to have the McCaffreys and the Henrys and the kid and the Bijan Robinson. He's special. Oh. He put on a show on Monday night. But there are other situations like Chicago where they have a two-headed monster back there, and that's really driving and helping develop Caleb Williams because of what I'm talking about. Because now you have to worry about the Bears running the ball down your throat, and it opens things up. And obviously Luther Burden stepped up and had another big game the other day. So, it's good to see the running game coming back in football.
Connor, has Chicago issued their official injury report on Luther? And I talked to the dad.
I don't believe so.
It wasn't quite as bad as it looked because he was carted off, but we'll find out. Somebody texting in, 8:15 dinner reservation at Citizen Cane's. I think of all the local restaurants, that ribeye there, local steakhouses, I should say, that's as good as you can get. Have you been there in the last?
Yes, not in a lot. It's been probably 15 or 20 years.
Sam's Steakhouse, have you been there?
Yes.
That's solid.
It's old school.
And I went to Creases the other day too.
Yeah. That's the definition of old school in St. Louis. If you want red meat in an old school environment, there's a place in Tampa that's famous. I don't know if it's still open. Burns Steakhouse. You ever been to Burns?
Oh yeah.
We made it a couple of times when the Rams were playing the Buccaneers. We made that a Saturday night stop, and I'd always heard about it. That was the definition of an old school steakhouse. Yeah.
That's cool. All right, we'll take a short time out. This is the Frank and Jill Show. Steve Savard in the house. We'll have the opening dialogue, and then the new head coach of the Battlehawks and a St. Louis Rams legend, Ricky Prohl, when we come back.
Way back in time, if you had a leak in the roof of your hut, I imagine you had to find a tree close by, scale it, and then jump and hope you could get up there and see what was wrong. Then came the advent of the ladder. There was an easier way to get up there and see if something was wrong. And with modern technology, we finally get around to the drone. Now, the folks at Allen Roofing use those instead of trees and ladders. Send a drone up, find out if there's anything wrong with your roof, get some pictures, go over it with you, and see if there's a problem, how bad it is, what they could do, what it'll cost. Or if everything's just fine, they will tell you that too. Boy, it's so nice we don't have to climb trees to look at our hut. Allen Roofing, embracing technology and doing quality roof repair, siding, gutters, everything for the outside of your home. Just ask Gronk. He was one of the first customers. It's Allen Roofing. Find him online at aroofing.net.
Mom, what do you always say?
There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
Experience the Old House in Hog Hollow, a beautifully restored 1859 farmhouse in Chesterfield. Hi, this is Angie. Our wine bar cafe offers a cozy, nostalgic atmosphere perfect for savoring fine wines and delicious food. Planning a celebration? Choose from our charming upstairs rooms, our intimate cellar, or reserve the entire house. Plus, enjoy live music Wednesday through Sunday from 1 to 3. Old House in Hog Hollow. Reservations recommended. Call 314-786-5107 or check out our website at oldhousechesterfield.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
It's the ultimate Cardinals weekend. The 29th winter warm-up, January 17th and 18th at Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village. Experience 2 days of non-stop Cardinals excitement, from clubhouse tours and Hall of Fame and museum access to autographs, auctions, memorabilia, and more. Join the fun. Meet your favorite players and support Cardinals Care, helping kids across the community. Admission tickets are on sale now. Visit cardinals.com/WWU to be part of the action.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS.
Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
All right, here we go. Thought one. Perhaps the most stunning story of 2025 happens in the final days of 2025. So one of the best entrepreneurs / businessmen in our region is a fellow named David Hoffman. He's a billionaire, the man who owns a ton of properties from St. Charles to Washington. He recently bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm not saying he's never made a mistake, but most of his instincts have been awesome. Let's put it this way. He has more zeros on his net worth than I have vowels in my last name. So what is shocking? He's leading a $50 million deal with the owner of the Post-Dispatch newspaper to buy a controlling stake in the chain to become the chairman. Getting heavy, Steve, into the newspaper business in 2026? Wow. The Post doesn't deliver on holidays. They no longer have a paper on Monday and now prints the paper in Peoria. And because of that, they no longer have game stories in the morning from a night game. Lee's stock has fallen 70% since January. Don't get me wrong. I love the Post. I get the paper. I'm holding it right now. And the writers are awesome. But this absolutely stuns me.
Wow.
But how do you doubt a billionaire?
No, times have changed in our business and the print business as well. Hey, when Graham Walker agreed to sell Firebond Corporation, the Louisiana manufacturing company his father founded, he made sure that deal would transform the lives of 540 full-time employees as much as his own. Well, not quite as much. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, the 46-year-old CEO carved out a roughly $240 million bonus pool from the $1.7 billion sale to a power management giant, an amount that works out to an average of $443,000 per employee.
Do you know how many employees we're talking roughly? Or gosh, this is unbelievable.
We are, I think I read this, at about 150. But here we go. It does come with a string attached.
Okay.
Some. Walker insisted that 15% of the sale proceeds, as he put aside, be reserved for employees even though they own no stock, making the condition non-negotiable for any buyer. Well, the buyer agreed. The bonuses began rolling out in mid-2025, but they don't all vest at once. To ensure employees collect every dollar, Walker structured the deal so they would have to stay on the job for 5 more years, turning the windfall into one of the largest and stickiest retention packages in recent memory. So here's a guy that looks out for his employees, gave him a $443,000 bonus, but he's also wanting his company, after he sells it, to keep on succeeding and saying, just stay on for 5 years.
Well,
I don't think I'd have any problem saying I'm on board for another 5 years.
Count me
That
in.
works out to roughly $90,000 bonus for each of those 5 years.
Wow. That is terrific. I love this guy. That's great. All right. Next up, thought 2. The sports team to watch in 2026, and its secretariat at the Belmont in terms of winning this category in St. Louis, the basketball Billikens. They are one miraculous shot away from being 13-0. They are 31st in the NCAA net rankings. You know why they went down? They were 27th yesterday. Stanford got beat at home by Notre Dame. Okay, so their 13-game win streak at Shavitz is their longest in history. Winning is one thing, Steve, but it's the style that makes this team even more fun to watch. 85 or more points in 6 straight, 505 100-point games. They go into every game now not knowing who will be their leading scorer that night. It could be one of 9 guys. SLU had the big 3 in the past, Douglas Gray Bonner, Highmark, Claggett, Waldman, but never a big 9. And the coach, Josh Schertz, well, think of him as a kinder Rick Majerus. He gives you that off-the-chart basketball acumen where he diagrams plays on the shower door, or his vacations consist of spending 3 days with the Oklahoma City Thunder coaching staff. I imagine his wife loves that.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. But he also gives you a genuine sweetness where his players say, he never gets nasty. One time he gets a little sarcastic, but SLU Hoops, they are the team. I'll be there at 3 o'clock today.
That's great. I didn't know that much about his personality, but I watched his great Indiana State team 2 years ago come to Missouri State, come to Springfield. And there's no reason that ball club should not have been in the tournament. It would have competed and competed well. So glad to hear that not only is he getting it done on the court, but he's a great guy to deal with.
To be fair, Frank, is the SLU Billikens always in your teams to watch? I feel like that's kind of
not
every
Travis's Ford last
every year.
Well, no, I would never say this is the first time I'd say they would be the team to watch in St. Louis, but they are now. I mean, look, it's kind of out of default. I mean, we have the Cardinals that won't be good, the Blues who we don't know about, and City SC rebuilding too. There's not a lot of choices.
For anybody who's ever been involved in a dispute with maybe your local municipality or your neighborhood HOA, there's a monster one unfolding in Florida. A woman's been fined $165,000 for the way she's parking her and her family's cars.
What?
And the Florida Supreme Court has decided that it can stand. The fines can stand after several years of litigation. Imagine you're fighting this for years. Sandy Martinez is a single mother who spent several years fighting the fines that have now ballooned to $165,000 and counting. More than 100,000 of those fines relate directly to her parking cars on her driveway and slightly onto her grass. Her home isn't home to just her. It's her son, daughter, and sister that live with her, all 4 of them. That is a monster fight. The fine's right now at $165,000.
Oh, my gosh. And I thought
so you can see both sides of this.
Yeah.
Because you can, if you say, well, you're parking all over the place, but it's your home. You're going to find me every day for how I park in my driveway or on my grass?
Have you ever got the boot on a car downtown? I got it once.
Well, there's no doubt. And listen, I know you've cut corners because you're on the fly. You're on the fly all the time.
But you've never.
What'd you have to do to get it back? You had to call an impound lot?
Maybe call the chief.
Why do you think I asked that question,
Frank flashed
Connor?
the sheriff's badge again.
And you know the best part about it is when they were putting on the boot, Jim Tuxbury, our fine photographer.
Yeah, I know Tux. Yeah.
He. Instead of telling me because I'm in the newsroom, he decides to get out his camera and then he
it's
shows
beautiful.
everybody in the newsroom.
Did it make the air?
It didn't make the air, but
That would have
everybody
been.
saw it.
I think nowadays that would have been good. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Quickies. I was at John Minio's last night. Let me just say this. There's not a better Italian restaurant in our region. Some is good, none better. Had linguine con vongole with the clams, the red sauce. It is off the charts. The best bruschetta in town, the best tiramisu in town. John sat down, and I never knew this, but you know who one of his best friends was at Indiana University? Mark Cuban.
Really?
How about that? All right, be careful tonight. There is now a law in effect that prohibits celebratory gunfire on New Year's Eve. Why haven't we had this for years? You will go to jail, Steve, if you're caught. Bullets fired into the air can reach speeds of 700 miles per hour on their way down to the ground. So just blow a little horn instead. And finally, what is your New Year's resolution? 84126. I think I got a couple here. I think I'm not going to eat anything after 8 o'clock. See one older person who may be a little bit more isolated a week, and then hitting my knees the second I wake up and thanking God for things every morning. Those are my three things as we speak. Steve, go ahead.
All right. So my last thought here today has to do with our guest coming up in a few minutes, rock and roll Ricky Proehl, and the Rams and how special they were. Remember Mike Marks coined the phrase special time, special place?
Yes.
And I think nothing in the last 25-ish years have pulled us away, have dissuaded us from thinking that. You know, the Rams became the first team ever. This is how prolific they were. The first team ever to score 500 points in more than one season. They were one of only 3 or 4 teams to ever do it in 99. The Vikings in 98 were one of those teams. But they became the first team, not only to do it 2 years in a row, then they became the first team ever to do it 3 years in a row. Wow. After they had bold targets on their backs after the 99 breakthrough season. You know, to this day and age, and we've gone into we're going to launch the ball 50 times and we're going to spread the field and it's an offensive error without question. You know, there's still only 2 teams to ever do that 3 years in a row and 4 times overall.
Okay.
And both teams have it. The Rams have done it 4 times. They did it in 2018 in L.A. as well.
Yeah. Would be, let me guess. It wouldn't be Patriots. They didn't do that. No.
Yes, it would.
What Patriots? Okay.
2010 to 2012, they did it. So still, to this point,
were the Vikings one of those teams to get to 500?
500 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the threshold to get to 500. Okay. But at the time, the Rams became only the 3rd or 4th team to do it, and they became the first team to do it 3 years in a row. Now they're still only one of 2 teams in NFL history. That greatest show on turf was that good. And those documentaries and everything you're still watching 30 years from now, 40 years from now, they'll be going, they couldn't have been that good. Yeah, they were that good. And Ricky Proehl was a big part of it, and I think it's cool that he's going to be coming back to town coaching football in St. Louis.
Yeah, I don't know. You've been gone, but interest level in the Battlehawks probably wasn't enormous for you. It wasn't like,
no.
Even though they were on national TV.
I thought it was nice. So here's what I thought it was. I thought it was cathartic for so many fans.
Yeah.
For all you fans, and I heard from them from the moment the Rams took off in 2015, 2016. We stayed loyal. We had PSLs for all 21 years and all that, and they just felt devastated when the team left, and they poured their energies into seeing football. Is it great football? Not my opinion, but is it solid football? Yeah. It's more of a circus-type atmosphere, but listen, I think it's great. Here's what I'm happy about. Anthony Becht embraced it, did a great job here, and it turned a lot of football fans. It gave them an outlet again.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think Ricky can help because at the end of the year, interest had waned. The attendance was really half of what it was in the playoffs the previous year for the Battlehawks.
And I couldn't think of anybody on the planet who would be better in this job at this point in his life because he did coach for 5 years in the NFL and 1 year with the Battlehawks.
Last time I saw Ricky was on the field at 2013 before a Rams-Panthers game when he was the wide receiver coach of the Panthers. Unfortunately, it was also the day that Sam Bradford tore his ACL, the first day. But, yeah, originally it was supposed to be Haslett. The rumors were Haslett was coming back, which I thought would have been great, too. I'm really happy that Ricky's coming back. That'll really excite the football fan base here.
All right, couple of steakhouse entries. Chicago Chop House, old school. When you're there, Jeff Ruby's. I've been there in Cincinnati. That is off the charts, really good. We love Sam's Steakhouse, says Mary Lynn. 2026 to be better about staying in touch with friends and family. That's a good goal. All right, let's take a short time out. When we come back, we're scheduled to be joined by Ricky Proehl.
Since 1950, Flanagan Paint and Supply is a St. Louis paint company that has been providing the homeowner and professional painters with top quality products, competitive prices, and to be the leading paint company for architectural, commercial, and industrial coatings. With experts in paints and stains and other custom home products on staff, Flanagan's has your resources to be your one-stop for style. With locations in Ellisville, Webster Groves, St. Peters, Edwardsville, and Wentzville. There's a Flanagan's Paint and Supply near you. Online at FlanaganPaint.com.
Appliance Discounters has another showroom, this time on Gravois Road, right next to the little Dairy Queen that's been there for ages. This showroom is different. It's packed with name brands, GE, LG, Bosch, that are slightly dinged, one-of-a-kind, or closeout items direct from the manufacturer. They all come with the factory warranties and all the factory rebates. You want huge savings at big discounts, theappliancediscounters.com. To find the one nearest you, including the one on Gravois Road in Afton, theappliancediscounters.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Capital Advisory Group. Our friend Jeff Zufall just takes the most complicated financial stuff and makes it easy for all of us to understand. You guys love listening to him every single weekend here on KTRS, the Big 550, the Talk of St. Louis, with Josh Gilbert on their show, Keep What's Yours, the title of the #1 best-selling book that Jeff wrote on the subject. And great news, he has written a new book. It's going to come out in just a couple of weeks called Keeping What's Yours. It's all about that so-called big, beautiful tax bill, the tax bill that really changed a lot of things for a lot of people, but average folks like us might miss out on those changes, might not understand how to use those changes to capitalize on the way that we can save money long term by not overpaying on our taxes. And that's why Jeff's distilled it down into an easy-to-read, easy-to-understand book. It's coming out in just a couple of weeks. You're going to want to check it out. In the meantime, also, you want Jeff on your team. You want to learn from him by listening to his radio show. You want to learn from him by reading his book. But you also want him to be the person that sort of captains your ship when it comes to your finances and getting you set up in 2026. You do that by reaching out to Capital Advisory Group today, 636-394-5524, capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Scott, I have a new word, floornancing.
What are you saying, flooring or financing?
Actually, both, because at Best Buy Flooring, we have the largest selection of carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic tile, laminate, and hardwood.
Yes, and free financing for qualified buyers.
3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
The best fishing expo in the Midwest is the Let's Go Fishing Show January 2nd through the 4th at Gateway Convention Center in Collinsville. Huge discounts on the latest boats, premier fishing gear, resorts, and guided services. Free seminars, free parking, and free fishing pond. Win prizes, coupons at letsgoshows.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Oh, we're going to let this play a little bit. Good stuff, Connor. Does this band age about as well as any band? What do you think, Steve? I
think a lot of bands age well. I can't even believe some of this stuff.
This is, wow. I think L.A. Woman is a top 10 song in my life.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're playing the Frank's greatest hits here today.
It's about time. We
I love
normally
to do it.
play Rick Springfield.
I think it's pretty split. I think it's a pretty even split most of the time.
All right. If somebody with a text there, I equate the Battlehawks to Live Golf versus the PGA. I don't know if I.
Well, you know what? We're off the air here?
Yeah. No, you're on.
Oh, we are. Am I on the air?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just having a conversation here. Okay.
No, this is the job. I couldn't tell if you were serious or not.
No, I was dead serious. I thought we were just, you know what it is, because I did the PA duties one time, which they still haven't paid me for, by the way, but that's a different story. And it's really more of a circus type atmosphere. I couldn't believe how many reeds there are compared to what Tom Calhoun would do at a Blues game, or what Andy did during Rams games, Andy Banker. So I would say that's probably a pretty good for me. It's a comparison. Live to PGA Tour.
All right. We're excited about this guest because it's one of the few guests we've had on the Frank and Jill show that Steve Savard and I have covered and interviewed probably 50 to 100 times. He is the author of the single greatest professional football play ever made in St. Louis, and we had 49 seasons of the NFL, and he's also the new coach of the Battlehawks. He is Ricky Prohl. Ricky, welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Frank? Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Rock and roll, Ricky Prohl. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. I've been up to my ears trying to get a staff, but it's a lot of fun. It's coming together, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Get back in St. Louis and coach some football and see some familiar faces like you two. It's awesome, man. It's just I've had the blessing of talking to so many people. Randy Carricker and you two just brings back amazing memories of just, every time 2 years ago, every time I walked in that dome, it just, the buzz of it's just awesome. So many amazing memories and people. So I'm excited, to say the least.
Well, as you're putting your staff together, don't overlook Frank. I know he's a basketball guy, but I think he could make a great special teams coach.
Well, hey, you know who I'm bringing in?
Who's that?
As an ambassador, Mike Jones.
Well, you know what?
Nice.
Frank just said it, and I'm not going to argue with it, that it was the greatest single play. But like 2 weeks later, you can make a case that Mike Jones authored 100%. The single greatest play. Well, so I think it's
100%.
I think it's co-ownership of that.
What
of
I'm
that.
saying is made in St. Louis, because Mike Jones was made at the Super Bowl. So Ricky's on an island there, winning that one. In fact,
thanks, Frank. I go with that. I like that.
In fact, to this day, if you ask Isaac Bruce what's the greatest catch he ever made, he'll always say Ricky Prohl. And no, Isaac, I'm talking about your catch, but he says it's still your catch. All right, now you got to take us back. How did this thing all unfold? When did you know there was a possibility of this happening?
Last Tuesday afternoon at 3:00. So Russ Brandon, who I got to know 2 years ago very well. I know coaching with Coach Beck, who I absolutely love. Love coaching with him. Great guy. Kept in touch over the years, but I know Anthony's lifelong dream is to coach in the National Football League, or maybe possibly coach at his alma mater. But so I was walking around the dome 2 years ago and ran into Russ. We were talking, and I said, Russ, if this job ever comes available, I want an interview. And lo and behold, Mike Paroli and the kind of new alignment, what they're doing, and with people affiliated with different cities, they're trying to, do some different things, and obviously sending Coach Beck to Orlando. He lives in Tampa. He's got an affiliation with Orlando, so they're hoping that will help with attendance. So the job came available, and Russ called me Tuesday afternoon. He was talking to a good friend of mine, Brandon Bean, and he asked Brandon, he said, "You think Ricky'd be interested?" And he said, "Absolutely, call him." And that's when it started, Tuesday at 3, and I gave him an answer Wednesday at probably noon.
Ricky, last time I caught up with you was before a Rams-Panthers game in 2013 in Carolina. You were the wide receivers coach, and you had that job until 2015. I don't know if you've been doing any amateur coaching, but according to Wikipedia, you've been out of the business for 10 years. So you're going to jump into being a head coach here. Who are the guys you played for, either position coaches or head coaches or coordinators, who will shape your style as a head coach?
Oh, my God. Al Saunders, Dick Vermeil, Frank Gans, Tony Dungy, Ted Plum.
Will you have any? Will you borrow any Mike Martz bravado? the pedal to the metal and let's flood the zone.
Well, let me tell you something. Mike Martz was one of the smartest coordinator, if not the smartest coordinator I've ever had the opportunity to play for. I mean, the things that he did and the things that we worked on in practice, and he would say, this is what coverage they're going to run. It's going to be cover 2. Kurt, you're going to look off this guy, and you're going to hit Isaac right here. 15-yard, and it would happen just like that in the game. And we kind of, as receivers, Isaac, Torrey, Oz, and me would look at each other like, holy mackerel, it's just like we drew it up. He was, to me, when I look at Coach Martz, he was ahead of his time, and we revolutionized the passing game in this league. We were doing something 25 years ago that these guys now are doing it at a whole nother level. I mean, throwing the ball amazing 70 times a game. It's crazy. These guys catching the ball 125 passes. What was the tight end that just caught 112?
Trey McBride. Trey McBride, yeah.
Arizona. For the Cardinal. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I'm going to be aggressive. I tell you what, I cannot. You talk about coaching, but situations. I mean, losing 2 Super Bowls, playing prevent. Still, I still look at teams when they're up by 7 and they're playing defense, and it's like, can you put pressure on the quarterback? I mean, some of these guys are so good. If you leave them in the pocket, they're going to shred you apart. You got to get them uncomfortable. And we're going to be an aggressive football team. We're on offense and defense. We're going to be running to the ball. I'm excited. I'm excited to instill the things that, it's like I said earlier in the week in a press conference, when you lose for 9 years and then all of a sudden your last 7, 8 years, you win, you go to Super Bowls, you really realize what the recipe for success is. And it's playing as a team, it's playing selfless, it's playing for each other. And I got the opportunity to learn that from 1999 to 2006, in St. Louis and Carolina and Indianapolis. And for me, that was a blessing. I run my business the same way. It's the people you surround yourself with. It's the message you're sending. It's people, players buying into the culture that you want to build. And I've been blessed. Dick Vermeil did an amazing job of that overnight for me. And to play for those guys and to understand what it takes to win, that's what I'm bringing to the table.
Speaking of Coach Vermeil, have you had a conversation with him about coaching philosophy? Not that you don't know his coaching philosophy, or will you?
I will definitely. I mean, Dick, obviously I've gotten a plethora of text messages, emails. I talked to Dick before Christmas. I called him. But yeah, I will definitely reach out. I mean, that's, to me, he's a resource. And just like there's so many others are as well. But he's my guy. He's someone that, you looked at, you didn't want to let down. And I think, but for advice, I would definitely call Coach. Have I ever talked to Coach from philosophy? No, I didn't feel like I had to. He was an open book, and he's an amazing human being. And I think I'm speaking on behalf of our football team, or people that had the pleasure of playing for him, understand that he cared about us, not just as football players, but people. And people I used to get upset when he would get emotional, and I say, you have no idea, man. This dude cares about us as people. When we have great success, he is emotionally and sincerely happy for us. When we fail, he is sincerely and emotionally sad for us. And I believe that. And he said a long time ago, he goes, it doesn't matter how much coaches care until you know how much, players don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And there's so much truth to that.
New Battlehawks head coach Ricky Prohl with us here on the Frank and Jill Show. Ricky, when I saw the news, I couldn't help but think of a guy that absolutely adored you, and that was my partner, Jack Snow. And I went back, I started looking at all your stats. Man, what a career you had. 669 receptions, 54 touchdowns. I figured out about 207 in the regular season catches here in St. Louis. I think I had the privilege of documenting about 115 of those at the microphone. But at the end of almost every catch, especially because you were such a third down specialist, turning third down into first down, as soon as I'd finish my call, Jack would punctuate it with rock and roll Ricky Prohl. And then you'd get the crowd going down to a knee and giving the first down sign. Just give me a sense. You played around the league. You've coached around the league. You've been around the league. Give me a sense of what that atmosphere was like on a Sunday afternoon when you guys were rocking the Dome.
Second to none. second to none. It was exhilarating. It just right now it brings chills through my body. Just when we would come out of that dome and it was pitch black, and the lights start flashing, the music started playing. There was nothing like it, and the roar and how loud. I mean, there may be places that are as loud, but nothing louder. Nothing louder. I mean, it was a true advantage. I talked to a coach yesterday, and even with the Battlehawks, with 40,000, he said, "What an advantage it is to be the home team playing in that dome." It gave us an amazing advantage. I mean, teams that would come in there offensively trying to, check to another play, couldn't do it. I mean, that's where hand signals came, because of the dome. It was tribute to our fans. They're the best fans in our country, and I'll continue to say that because they're knowledgeable fans, they're educated fans. They know when to cheer, when to be quiet. And to me, someone asked me, and I said, you just look at it from the baseball to hockey to football to SLU basketball. I mean, they're educated, and that's not in every city. And that's why they're truly the best fans, because they know when to cheer and when not to, and when to be there. They're there for us, whether win or lose. They were there in '98 when we were terrible, and that's why no one deserves to win. No one deserved more, our fans, in '99, and no one deserves for us to bring home a champion in Battlehawks football than the St. Louis fans.
So you raised two terrific wide receivers in Austin and Blake, and I'm wondering, is there a possibility? Are they still involved? Would you bring them to the Battlehawks again?
Austin's going to be my receiver coach. Austin is coaching now. He's coaching in college. He's got some interviews. If something comes up, he may go off to college, but right now he's going to be my receiver coach. Blake is no longer playing football. He lives in Nashville. He's singing. He's getting ready to sign a record label. Maybe he may come in at halftime and sing a couple of songs, or maybe he sings the national anthem. But proud of both of them. They are so excited. They love St. Louis. St. Louis is a huge part of their life growing up, going to Shenandoah Elementary School. I mean, it's
shout out Shannon.
Like
shout out Parkway School District. Attaboy.
Yes, absolutely. Parkway District.
Frank wouldn't know anything about that, but I was educated in the Parkway District. It's A-OK, Rick.
Hey, shout out to G and Tony's in the Hill. Can't wait to get back there and eat the best food in Chesterfield. It's just like I said, it's just a great place. I love it. It feels like home. Every time I went, everybody's like, what does it feel like to be back in the Lou? And I'm like, it feels like home. That's what it feels like. The people there has welcomed me, my family, open arms. Every time we return there, it's a special place.
You talk about bringing in your son to do the national anthem. That'd be great. It would probably be as emotional as the time. You remember this. We're telling Vermeil stories. Remember Ted Nugent comes in and does the instrumental version of he does a crazy guitar version of the national anthem. And then when he's done, Vermeil goes out and jumps into his arms. And then after the game, we're asking Vermeil, he goes, "How are you a big fan?" He goes, "No, I never heard of him, but I love the guy."
Oh, gosh. That's funny. That's funny.
Rick, we greatly appreciate your time. I can't think of anybody we'd rather have as the head coach of the Battlehawks, the author of the most famous football player in the 49-year NFL history in St. Louis than Ricky Proehl. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
Frank, that means a lot. I appreciate it. Steve, it's a pleasure, man. You guys, can't wait to see you guys in person.
Same here, Rick.
All righty. That will do it for this segment. Two breaking news items. Jones as ambassador and Austin as the wide receiver coach. We got some news here on the show. We'll take a short time out. You're going to hear one of the best stories ever about a 16-year-old boy who's probably now in his 70s. You won't believe it. Stick around.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've got some important news from our friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. You know they're locally owned and family operated. More importantly, they've been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. That great offer that they have on windows at Dalco has now been extended through the end of the month, so you can still earn a $600 tax credit on new windows. Plus, Dalco has upped the ante to an additional $260 credit per window for up to 10 of their Elite Series windows with 0% financing for up to 18 months. That's up to $3,200 in credits. The Energy Star tax credit offer is ending forever and will not return. So you've got to act fast. This incredible offer ends through the end of the month. So you call today, 314-298-7300 to get up to $3,200 in credits for up to 10 new energy-efficient windows. Or go online, DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. If you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved with Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call 314-298-7300. See store for details.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's cold.
So bring the heat with Dogtown Pizza. Warm up these winter months with one of 13 different flavors, from the new SOB, sausage, onion, bacon, to a 4-meat or veggie. Or how about the all-star this time of year? I'm looking at you, hot chicken. Heat up those ovens and warm up those bones with a hot Dogtown Pizza. And tell Jack Frost to take a hike. These cold winter months are upon us, so take a trek to Dogtown. Dogtown Pizza, of course.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
The producer of the year, Connor McCarthy, giving us B.B. King. Frank Cusimano, Steve Savard, Frank and Jill Show. Joe has the day off. I wanted to bring on Phil Courtney today, A, because he's a great guy, B, because he's also a good friend of Steve Savard, and C, because, well, I wanted a couple of minutes of content, because this is one of the best stories I've ever heard. Phil, of course, ran Courtney Heating and Cooling for decades, one of the great companies in St. Louis. He sold the company. He's in Florida as we speak. Phil, good to be with you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Real good.
Doing good. You on the couch today? At the couch?
I'm on the couch.
Okay. Yeah, I got my Phil the English dictionary like we used to get out of Cheetos every night. Okay, Phil?
Yes, I was an English teacher at Washington University. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, if you live in St. Louis, they'd believe it.
All right. Phil, give us the story. You're 16 years old, and you find some money. Lots of it. Take it from there.
Me and a friend of mine, female friend, we're still friends today, 60 years later, and we're walking around by where she lived at. She lived by Botanical Gardens, Missouri Botanical Gardens. So there was a house there, a 4-family flat, and it was condemned. So we said, let's go in there. So we finagled our way in. And I don't know if you remember those old houses. They had wooden doors on the wall where all the pipes were and stuff like that. So I was wearing those big boondockers, like motorcycle boots back then. And I kicked one open, and there was a bunch of coffee cans in there. So we got them all out, and they were full of money. So it was $32,000 in there.
You're 16, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there was $32,000. So we went nuts. First thing we did, we go downtown. I don't know if you remember Washington Street, where a dead end at each bridge and it went around, like the buses went around. There was a bunch of little stores there. Well, there was a record store. So I go in the record store, me and her go in the record store, and I bought all the 45 records. I don't know how many there was. That was 60 years ago. I can't remember. Then we're going down the street, and there's a jewelry store there. So she liked black onyx. So we go in there. She buys a necklace, a ring, a bracelet, everything black onyx. So a few days later, a friend of mine was selling his motorcycle. So I bought his motorcycle. It was a Honda. And I kept that. And, then about a week later, I go down to Clinton Cadillac down on Kingside Way.
A 16-year-old.
We go down to Clinton Cadillac. Remember Clinton Cadillac? You guys are too young.
No.
And it was across the street from Famous and Bar there. So we go there, and there was Cadillacs in the showroom for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So I seen one I liked. I forget how much it was, $6,000, $7,000, I forget. So I told the salesman, I says, I want to buy that car there. He says, okay. He says, how you going to pay for it? I said, cash. He said, you got cash? And I said, yeah, I got cash right in my pocket, whatever it is. So he said, okay, wait here for a minute. So I'm waiting in his office. All of a sudden, here come every freaking cop in St. Louis. Trying to Clinton Cadillac like I just robbed a bank or something, So they took me out, took me down, and everything like that. And I had $19,000 left, 2 weeks. I spent $13,000 in 2 weeks. So anyways, that was it. And they let me go because my mom came down and got us out of jail that time. And that was it. And we got out of it because we were minors,
Yeah, you got to keep the rest of the cash?
No, they told me if nobody claimed it within 30 days or 45, I forget, that we could have it. Well, the day never came, so.
Oh my God, Phil, you're a beaut. Phil, you were a beaut at 16, and you're still a beaut. You know that?
Oh man, let me tell you something.
Of all the stories I've heard, of all the bread we broke, all the years, I'm not sure I heard that story from start to finish. Of all things, I can't believe that one escaped. I can't believe that one escaped us.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah. It was 15,
By the way, I think I've cracked
ago.
the code to how you speak, Phil. It's the fact that you ignore the U's. Out is ot, couch is koch, and around is arond.
There you go.
All those years we've been friends, and now I just figured it out. You enjoying life in Florida?
Yes, I am. Very nice. It's a warm 56 degrees down there right now.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Phil, great to hear your voice. Happy New Year. Great story. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Happy New Year to you, too.
See you, Philip.
All right. Used to.
Used to.
And if you want to know what he looks like, just think of any character on The Sopranos, and that's Phil Courtney. All right, we'll take a short time out. Speaking of characters and legends, Kelly Chase when we come back.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it, too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
From all of us to all of you, Happy New Year from the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. It's the future in Seoul, South Korea, as they are now celebrating 2026. The city packed with New Year's crowds, happy to welcome in the new year with music, dancing, and the ring of a gong. A year after the January 1st terror attack on Bourbon Street, security the top of mind now in New Orleans this New Year's Eve.
Among the street performers and tourists, military Humvees and uniformed National Guard members are stationed throughout New Orleans' French Quarter. Some visitors are snapping selfies with the soldiers.
Feel much safer, and I thank Donald Trump for sending them here.
But Attorney Morris Bart wants to see Bourbon Street become pedestrians only year-round.
You close it off by putting in permanent heavy-duty bollards.
Bart represents some of the victims of the January 1st ramming attack that killed 14 people on Bourbon Street. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
After a series of viral videos reported to show some daycares receiving public funds were not providing childcare, particularly targeting the state's Somali community, the Trump administration now cracking down. ABC's Jay O'Brien.
The Trump administration saying it's pausing all federal child care payments to the state of Minnesota amid allegations of widespread fraud.
We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
The Department of Health and Human Services moving to block $185 million in taxpayer funds for child care programs. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz firing back, accusing President Trump of politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans. Adding, we've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along.
On social media, the president calling Governor Tim Walz, quote, crooked. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. The Missouri Highway Patrol will be out in full force tonight for New Year's Eve. Details from KTRS's Jill Enders.
Troopers will be on the lookout for motorists exceeding the speed limit, seatbelt violations, and impaired drivers. This is an effort to keep Missouri roadways safe over the long holiday weekend. During last year's counting period, one person was killed. There were also 118 injured in 264 traffic crashes. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Police need the public's help identifying two suspects accused in a fatal shooting on Christmas Day at a South St. Louis gas station. 68-year-old Albert Willis was gunned down outside of the BP gas station in the 4300 block of South Kings Highway. The St. Louis Police Department has released two video surveillance images of the suspects on X. Anyone who recognizes the suspect should call St. Louis Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-371-TIPS. A Wentzville man accused of a violent home invasion will make a court appearance today. Daniel Cisneros Corona will be arraigned this morning on charges of first-degree assault, burglary, and armed criminal action. Police say on Saturday night, Cisneros Corona was armed with a knife when he allegedly broke into a home and attacked the homeowner. He allegedly stabbed the victim in the head and bit off the top portion of the victim's finger. Cisneros Corona also allegedly told the victim, "Tomorrow you will die." The victim was taken to an area hospital and is expected to recover. Funeral arrangements are set for a former St. Louis alderman. James Sonderman passed away on Christmas Eve at the age of 69. Sonderman served as Ward 23 alderman from 1995 to 1996. A visitation will be held on Friday from 5 to 8 at the Cudis Afton Chapel. A funeral mass will be held at 10 on Saturday morning at St. Gabriel the Archangel. As Missouri's legislative session is about to begin, Governor Mike Kehoe is reflecting back on his administration's work in 2025. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
In a just-issued press release, Kehoe says the past year presented challenges, but that he's proud of how his administration has responded. And looking ahead, he says securing Missouri's future means staying focused and accountable to the people. Meanwhile, on the same day he issued that press release, state representatives Betsy Fogel and Stephanie Hine spoke out about his promise 6 months ago for a new state child care payment program. It was just weeks ago in an email to child care providers that his administration announced it's postponing the pay in advance and authorization-based payment programs. Fogel and Hines say the Missouri Chamber of Commerce has described the situation as a crisis and that 80% of business leaders surveyed say that the expense and difficulty in finding child care keeps many Missourians out of the workforce. Missouri's 2026 legislative session begins on January 7th. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer has reappointed all 12 members to the St. Louis Workforce Development Board. Their terms were set to expire today. Their terms are now extended through December 31st, 2027. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings 9 to 11. Right now on Wall Street, Dow Jones is down 121 points to 48,245. S&P 500 is down 17 to 6,879. NASDAQ is down 54 points to 23,364. KTRS Sports Conference play begins today at Chaffetz Arena as the St. Louis Billikens men's basketball team plays host to St. Joseph's today at 3 in the afternoon. The Billikens have gone 10-0 in home games, averaging 13 turnovers per game and 2-0 in having fewer turnovers than their opponents. And the St. Louis Blues are on the road as they face the Colorado Avalanche tonight with a puck drop at 8 o'clock. Robert Thomas and Justin Falk will lead the Blues as they face the Avalanche, who are on an 8-game winning streak. KTRS weather, no precipitation in the forecast. Today, a mix of sun and clouds, high of 43. Tonight, New Year's Eve, cloudy. At 7 o'clock, we'll have 37 degrees. We'll have 32 degrees at midnight and an overnight low of 29 as we head into the new year. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 38 on New Year's Day. Right now, 38 degrees. The time is 11:07. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Experience a celebration of movement and music as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis Dance Theatre join together for Stravinsky and Debussy, Music and Motion. This adventurous collaboration reimagines Stravinsky's Puhinella Suite in an entirely new way. Ballet music from Debussy and Russa completes a program that celebrates powerful partnerships between dance and music. January 10th and 11th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
That is the most inspiring music ever in a movie. Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show. Steve Savard with us, and Kelly Chase joins us on the text lines. Kelly, great to be with you. How are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there, boys. I'm having a little trouble hearing and seeing right now, so you might have to speak up.
All right, we'll speak loudly. Right off the bat, the response you got from Hockey Fights Cancer Night, I don't know anybody who hasn't seen video of it or who wasn't there. What about the reaction you've received since then?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I've been fortunate. I was talking with my family and my kids, and just about, the response and how fortunate we are to be in the city. It's pretty humbling, I guess. That's all I can say, Frank. I mean, all the way I've been treated from day one it's been spectacular, but really, I don't know how to explain it. I tried not to get emotional. Again, I did. Getting tired of that. I think people are, but I really genuinely am grateful for everything that I have in my life, even with this, disease and having to fight it a little bit here right now with not being able to see for most of the day and not being able to hear. I feel like somehow we're going to get a comeback and I'm going to be okay.
But no one's tired of you being emotional. This bond here, we've known it for a long time, Frank, and others who have known you and known what you've done for this community. But it was an amazing. The response was amazing. We're sitting at home, and my wife's upstairs watching the game. I'm downstairs, eating something, and she's screaming at me, "Are you watching this?" And I couldn't say anything because I was bawling like a baby. But listen, I got a pretty good sense. Both of us have pretty good sense of the history of St. Louis and the sports figures and the beloved people here. It just blows my mind that a guy from Porcupine Plain, Saskatchewan, has become one of the most, and I mean this, the most beloved sports figures and really personalities in St. Louis. It speaks to what you've done here. It's got to hit you and your family.
Yeah, it sure does. The Hall of Fame thing that's coming up is awesome. It's such a great honor. But then I start, they gave you a table and we got another table, and now it's like, hey, I think we need 5. We don't have 5. I'm like, well, I got people coming from, Louisiana, Florida, California, and just great people, great humans. And I just feel like this city, I don't know how to explain it, but my kids see it. My son said to me the other day, "Dad, do you think you're more popular right now because of Ice Guardians or because of, is that why?" I had to laugh a little bit. I said, "No, buddy, I think I'm just lucky." And they're in their 20s and they're watching this, how people are treating me. And, I was at the rink the other day to watch them play in an alumni game, and a lady came up to me crying. And I said, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "I don't know. You've just been such an inspiration." I said, "Well, that's nice of you, but you don't need to cry. I'll be all right." So we talked for a while, and then there was another couple behind him, and then another couple. And I realized at that point, I said, and Frank, I've had this conversation with you before, Savvy and I. We haven't talked about this, but I feel an obligation a little bit to get better. And it might sound silly to you guys, but pardon me. I feel like people are rooting for me, certainly, but I think they also are like, "Come on, man, you got to get better because that's not how we see you." And so, I know, there's nothing you can do about putting pressure on yourself, but I think I've looked at it completely different. I've looked at it like, I'm no longer the hockey player, the tough guy that, it's more about how many people can I help, and how many people can we get in front of this cancer thing for with some treatments and using Siteman's research and get them better. So that's just sort of how I've had to look at it a little bit, because I am in awe of it. I'm taken aback a lot of times. I've been in the grocery store where I've walked and I know someone's staring at me, and I walked in and I stop and I turn around and I walk right at them and I shake their hand and say, "Hey, Kelly." "Yeah, I know, Kelly. I just don't want to bother you, but hey, we're praying for you." I mean, that's pretty inspiring.
Yeah.
And the whole city's been like that. So I've been very lucky.
Wow. So, in addition to your full-time job of beating leukemia for the second time and being a husband and father, you have the restaurant, the spa, the cannabis, all the real estate, and then all of a sudden now you get into the podcast world, and Ice Guardians, it's as good as any podcast I've ever heard. You got to be, I mean, if you and Brett with a mic in front of you, we kind of knew it was going to be successful, but I don't even know you thought it was going to be this successful, did you?
Frank, look, first of all, you guys, I presented this to the Blues a couple times, this idea. And I still think that it's crazy that they don't do it, but they should simulcast the game with Brett on the game. They should be simulcasting and allowing him to watch the game just like the Manning and Manning.
Yeah.
And the ratings would be the best in the NHL. I don't care. I don't give a who's watching. That it'd be the best ratings there are. Okay. And I pitched it. Remember the old show, Mystery Science 3000? Where the guys were in the corner of the screen in the movie.
In the movie theater, yeah.
During the whole movie. Well, I pitched that in 2005 to the league with Brett because his voice is, undeniable and distinctful. And then I did it again 5 years later. Nothing. Okay. So I said, we'll just do this. But I've lost 5 years of broadcasting where I haven't been in the game necessarily every day since the guys won the cup. And so I've kind of lost a little bit of the, social media part of it and all of that. Thank God for my son, Will, because he's been in charge of everything. And I had no idea it was going to be this popular. Like, I get calls from national advertisers. Hey, how do we get, and I mean, we've sold the inventory. So it's like, I kind of chuckle a little bit and go, listen, we do the renewals to here again in whatever it is, March. I said, why don't you call me back and we'll revisit it? And then the league's calling because they're worried because Holly's advertising for DraftKings. And you can't work for a team and be a part of DraftKings. It's not a league sponsor. So Chris has had to say, listen, he doesn't work for us. So we can't really stop him, And so when the league starts calling and then, Chris checks in with me and says, okay, you want to tell me what's going on exactly? And I got to chuckle a little bit. It's hard not to. I wish like hell that Holly was on their team 100% when it comes to like the sponsorship and everything, because that's what they need. And he's there, like he could give it to them, but they, unfortunately we didn't connect and the show is blowing up. And
hey, Chaser, and we were just talking about this before we brought you on in the break. I think hockey podcasts are some of the best across, and there's great ones. I mean, Strick and Cam do a great job. Spittin' Chicklets is another good one nationally. But for me, and I know I'm biased, it's unbelievable. When you guys post something, I sit there and watch it and laugh. I watch it 5 times, and I'm thinking to myself, this has got to have been good timing for you. Everything you're going through, I would think being able to do that podcast has been very therapeutic and cathartic for you.
Well, it has, and I haven't been very good on them because.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Well, no, I mean, honestly, like I've lost my vision. So I lost my vision for 6 days and my hearing for 3 of those 6. I think I cried for 4 days like a 4-year-old. And it really put things in perspective and was like humbling. But my son has done an unbelievable job of kind of clipping and editing me out of some of it because my eyes are burning and I'm I'm on the side, kind of the wing guy, taking care of my eyes, or, this GVHD is in my throat, my eyes and my ears. And so like the coughing and stuff like that. So he's had to do a lot of editing, put it that way. But when I get healthy here and can be good at it, I think it'll really be helpful. I mean, this during this little span of, I think about the 9th of January to about the 14th, we tape about 12 shows, and the guests are awesome. I mean, we got Pat the Bat Burrell, we got Shelly, we got Mike Keane, we got some great guests that we got coming on. We got Barnaby and Brad May coming on together, and their act, and I mean, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome, and as long as I don't get in the road, it'll be good, because Holly's been unbelievable. It's funny, guys. You know how he is. He kind of gets sick of something. He just kind of walks away. This year, he's like calling me going, I don't like the set. Let's change the set. I got to look at my phone and go, who in the hell's calling me right now?
You know, to illustrate just how hurt you've played with some of these podcasts, it's your son, Will, right? Will's the producer?
Yeah, it's Will.
Okay.
Will, yeah, we've got three guys. Jake Chartier, we got Drew and Will, yeah.
But on one of them, you told me that you literally could not see, and Will would just like tell you, Dad, look this way so no one will notice that you can't see, which I think is unbelievable on all parts.
Yeah, he was kind of directing me like, he's like, hey, like, because I could make out, I guess I could make out an image, like an image. And he has three cameras in there. He was pointing to a camera and said, Dad, this is the camera. It's the only camera I want you to look at. So you're going to have to get your head up or whatever. So then it wasn't working great. They put an IFB in me, talked me through the show. And so I had my glasses kind of pulled down over my nose. And I just, and I don't do it well, but listen to directions. And we got through the show. I think I'm on about 4 clips on the show only, but we got through the show. And I think it was one of the ones where I just had to walk up to Holly and say, hey, dude, I'm sorry. He goes, are you shitting me? Don't worry about that, man. We're good. And I'm telling you, like, look, I love the guy, and there's the personalities between him and I don't know how they work. Like I don't know how they've ever worked, but they've worked. And we get along so well, and I know what's coming out of his mouth. Not all the time, I shouldn't say that, but 80% of the time, I know what's coming out. I can finish a sentence for him and him with me, right? And we just chuckle about certain things, or we'll look at each other. I mean, I remember walking through an airport and a guy giving him grief about us. I don't know if he had a MAGA hat on or what. And I looked over at him and I started laughing, and as soon as we got to the line where we kind of stopped, and I knew what he was going to say, and I started laughing, and he goes, "Whoa, what?" I go, "Nothing. I just knew you were going to say that." And it's like, I don't know, like we got such good chemistry that it's unbelievable. But the fact that Holly and you guys, you're saying, "Oh, come on," like honestly, humbling or whatever. He's carrying the show. He really is. And I love it. I think it's awesome.
Well,
it is awesome. I mean, I say that. I just got done telling Frank I can't wait. I can't wait for the new episode to come out. And Will's doing a great job of putting the teasers out there as well. So pass along our congratulations to Will. He's the man.
Well, let me tell you something, Savvy. He has probably 4 times clipped stuff that probably the show wouldn't be on already. So like it's hilarious. Like Holly will say something, and then he'll call Will and go, hey, we can't put that on. So
he's your network censor. Yeah, he's your hull censor.
And he's like, it's a podcast. We can say anything. I said, well, we can. We wouldn't have any sponsors, but we can. But
all right.
He's been great.
One final thought, your take on the Blues as we speak on this Wednesday morning. What are you seeing?
Well, listen, I mean, I don't love where they're at. And I said at the start of the year, they're going to get better in the second half. I got to retract a little bit because I wasn't intending on seeing the injuries that these guys have gone. Like they're a team that had to stay healthy all year in order to improve for the second half. And with Snuggery getting hurt and Holly being hurt and, all the injuries they've had, it's hard to watch a young team kind of go through those growing pains. So they've just got to take and try and be a spoiler all the way along and see where they end up. And if they get in, great. But they can't. These 1-goal games and these overtime game losses, it's really taking a toll on them. The injuries. They're finding out a lot about what they got in the organization. That's for certain. But I think they've regrouped the plan and have a little different perspective now with all the injuries than they had at the start of the year.
Good to hear your voice. We're pulling for you. We'll be listening to Ice Guardians. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate both of you.
See you,
All
Chaser.
right. That's the great Kelly Chase joining us on the Frank and Jill Show. We'll take a short time out. We'll be right back after this.
As a kid, is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple of screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Up at the dealership, people pause. Out comes good old trade-in clause. The perfect time of year to upgrade your ride. Trade in your car while the values are high.
Come see Big D the Trade Man at HW Kia of West County and upgrade your sleigh this holiday season while your old car is worth more than ever. Bring in any trade and get up to a $5,000 discount off any select new Kia in stock. Take home a new 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX for just $29,958, or drive off in a new 2025 Kia Sorento LX with standard 3rd row seating for only $29,670. And if you have a job bringing home $450 weekly, we have lenders that want to approve you today. It's the Kia Season of New Tradition sales event at hwkia.com.
On approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, and $587 title and registration processing fee. 22 or newer trade. Negative equity refinanced and new loan. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Not all will qualify through KMF. $13.89 per $1,000. Offers not in combination. Expires 1/4/26.
You've had all these great ideas about what to do with your outside space. Now's the time to take the next step and call Outdoor Living, because Pat Leahy and the gang at Outdoor Living have built a showroom, which is a great resource for you. You can go in and see all the products they have, the composite decking, the metal framing. You see, at Outdoor Living, what they pride themselves on is building it right the first time and never having to worry about it again. So they build it. You can enjoy it for the rest of your life. Outdoor Living, their showroom on Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood, is a great resource for you. You can go and see all the different ways and all the different things they can do. Then they'll come out, they'll do a site visit, and in just a few short weeks, you will have the dream deck, fence, gazebo, pergola, whatever it may be. Outdoor Living right there in Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. 314-966-3325 or OutdoorLivingInc.com. Check out the showroom and take that next step. You'll love it. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online, see their entire inventory at Bommarito.com.
Want a song?
You're on my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, welcome back. What a show of stars. Ricky Prohl, Kelly Chase, our good friend Phil Courtney. If you'd like to be a part of the program, 84126. Did you give me your New Year's resolution yet?
I haven't really I don't have one.
You don't have one. Will you have one later on?
I don't know.
You don't do them?
No, I mean,
I think you need to be a little more healthy, Steve.
The reason I'm deflecting is because there's still even more. I'm taking a deeper dive into more health, but it would bore the heck out of people. So let's don't.
Yeah, give us an idea of some of the stuff that you eat that many people would think, oh gosh.
Well, you said you were going to bring in the kale salad, and I noticed a distinct lack of kale salad.
Oh, I forgot I said
Yeah,
that.
you forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
We
what's
have a-
that stuff you always have back there?
Oatmeal with a little canned chicken in it for protein, or some tuna in
No,
it.
it
for the
doesn't sound bad.
morning.
No, but
Oatmeal
you
with
put
some
the tuna
blueberries.
on the oatmeal.
In the oatmeal, mix it up.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure people are fascinated by Steve's dietary habits here, but go ahead with it. Go ahead with it.
I feel bad. I had linguine.
I used to drink when I was doing. I used to, we used to do all the radio shows back in the day. Jack Snow and I had his 2 feet in bounds. It was always his show, even though I was the one driving it as the host on Mondays and Fridays. You know, Jack was, but I would always bring, a chocolate protein shake, in between meals and all that. And I'd be drinking, and he goes, "Why?" And every time we come back from break, "Why are you drinking mud water?" Sevy, that's so gross. He said, "Nobody has to know that. Jack, we're doing radio, not television."
Mud water?
Mud water.
It does kind of look like mud when you mix it all up.
Yeah, Jack and I, as much as we had in common, our dietary habits were polar opposite.
Yes.
They'll shock
Jack
you.
was the biggest candy guy
Jack
of all time.
Jack lived on
Coke, right?
Fried chicken. It had to be Pepsi.
Pepsi, okay. But lots of Pepsi.
Lots of Pepsi and lots of candy bars. That's all the charters and all that. At the end of the year, we'd go over and watch playoff games over at his house, and we'd be done for the year. And you look in his freezer downstairs, and there would literally be like 200 candy bars, and there would be like 3 cases of Pepsi.
But the 200 candy bars were probably still from the charter flights.
There was no charter flight. Yeah, all the flight attendants at the end would hand him every flight going to the game and coming back would hand him like 6 or 10 candy bars at a time.
All right, our song of the day is by one of my favorite musicians of all time. Because of Mike Claiborne, I got his autograph once. Saw him in St. Louis. At the end of his career, he could not stand. He sang, and he sang well. It's B.B. King. Here's one of his best, Why I Sing the Blues. All right. What would be your number one concert that you've ever seen in person?
Oh, boy. I don't know. Years ago, I would have said Steely Dan. I saw them on their comeback tour in the 90s in Connecticut, and they weren't great.
They were never good in person.
No,
right?
exactly right. They were a studio band, a studio group, and I loved them. That was probably my biggest disappointment. I've not gone to a lot of concerts. I'm not really a concert guy. I would say here I know how to answer this. Sammy Hagar at Riverport, and I call it still Riverport. Sorry.
Yeah, roughly what year we thinking?
Well, this is not that. Probably 2010-ish.
Okay.
2012-ish. Yeah. And even getting longer in the tooth, he still put on a great show. And, he loves St. Louis. St. Louis loves him.
Yeah.
There's a definite connection for sure. This would have been Donna Summer, speaking of we're talking about B.B. King and musicians. This would have been her 77th birthday. She was born in the state. And John Denver would have been 82 today.
82, okay. How about like Donna Summer, when that streak she went on, where it was just hit after hit after hit in such like a short period of time. Everything she touched, oh my gosh.
Late 70s
Last
into early
Dance,
80s. Yep.
Hot Stuff.
Yep.
Bad Girls. Love to Love You, Baby.
Here's a memory for you for January.
MacArthur Park.
A New Year's Eve memory. Remember the Fog Bowl? That was played on this day in 1988. The Eagles and Bears playoff game at Soldier Field. That was literally the only game I was watching where you could not see what was going on, ever. Also on this date, get this, 1967, Evel Knievel failed to jump at Caesars Las Vegas. He broke his pelvis, femur, wrist, hip, and both ankles. Now, I was fascinated as a kid. We didn't have, tell people we don't have the sports 24/7. We have all the channels. Wide world of sports.
Yeah.
You got to see the Harlem Globetrotters every January or February. You get to see Evel Knievel's jumps. They were, a lot of them in the 70s were broadcast live. Some of these over the Snake River Canyon and all those crazy stunts. I once read where he broke 248 bones in his body over the life of his career as a daredevil.
Were those like actually live, or like 10 minutes after?
Some of them were live.
I think they were. Yeah,
Because
well, you're talking about taking a massive risk if something happens.
if something
right?
goes wrong, you're airing on live TV.
I think, as I recall, what the buffer was that they wouldn't shoot in, they wouldn't zoom in to what happened until he landed successfully. I think they were still far enough away that you wouldn't see the gory details if something had happened.
Yeah. Along the lines of the way people watch TV, with that said, with all of the distractions we have and all of the options we have, still, like on Sunday, I was thinking to myself, I can't picture anybody that didn't see that final Pittsburgh Steeler drive where Rodgers underthrew it, or Josh Allen's final drive where he underthrew it, or what happened on Monday night, Sunday. Every one of these games went down to the wire. I mean, everybody I know, oh my gosh, did you see that? We all know what we were talking about.
I think the Bears-49ers game the other night was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, just back and forth. They said it was the first time in NFL history a game had been tied at 7, tied at 14, tied at 21, tied at 28.
Yeah.
And then they were tied at 35.
And along those lines, Luther Burden's dad just texted 20 minutes ago, and the words were, he's good.
He's going to play.
He's going to play, yeah. And, you thought, oh, my goodness. They said they had to be carted off. He was laying on the field.
Right. Well, they've already lost Roma Dunze
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, and I think he's supposed to play this week. They're hoping he can play.
So what do you think, Luther, long-term NFL? I thought when he was coming out, not quite as big. He was kind of Deebo Samuel type, were really tough to tackle. Maybe not an outside receiver, but just held on the inside as a slot guy. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I think the one reticence would be, is he big enough to be our number one go-to guy? He's not a A.J. Brown type. He's not one of those guys. But, man, you can't. I mean, the athleticism from the time he was in high school has just jumped off the video screen every time you see him, the television screen.
And
he's making a bigger impact every week into the season.
You're right.
For the Bears.
That's right. And what better situation for him to be in than to be coached by Ben Johnson and to have the ball thrown to him by Caleb Williams at this stage? I mean, that's just heaven.
Caleb's pretty spectacular. I think there's still some judgment issues with him occasionally.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But he's almost unsackable. He's almost unsackable. When was the last time you saw this guy somebody get him to the ground? And then he has the ability to throw on the run. He's made some absolutely crazy. Would they beat Detroit? What was the game a couple weeks ago where he threw a couple of touchdown passes on the run that were just absolutely spectacular?
And then you
but as long as they can continue to run the ball like they have been with the two backs, he's going to get even better.
And granted, I agree with you. He has missed some throws, but to be that young, to orchestrate this many come-from-behind wins, and then the great stat is it's 25 touchdowns and just 6 picks.
There you go. And we're talking about judgment. Well, apparently his judgment's been pretty good this year because there are only 6 picks.
But it's all, it's so much about, who's your coach, who's your wide receiver,
Well, this year, the NFL Coach of the Year, usually you have two. It's a tough decision. You have 2 or 3. You have 6 or 7 legitimate, crazy. I mean, no one's even
not pick Vrabel though. Although Kyle Shanahan.
Wait. I mean, Kyle Shanahan. What's going on in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Liam Cohen.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on with Ben Johnson and the Bears? I mean, I get your point about Vrabel.
But if you go from where they were to this win total and probably the number 1 seed,
I think you had some other guys in that conversation for the very same reason, though, records wise.
Yeah.
They weren't as bad as New England record-wise last year, but they were close, other teams.
All right, let's take a short time out. This is the Frank and Jill Show. Steve Savard in the house. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Capital Advisory Group. If you have been meaning to get around to paying more attention to your money and figuring out how to make it grow for you so you can live your retirement dreams, why don't you use this as your reminder to make 2026 your year that you finally get your finances in order? And I know it sounds like a daunting task. It sounds like a lot to do. But the great news is all it takes is for you to write down this number, 636-394-5524, or capitaladvisorygrp.com. Because all you really need to do is set up that appointment, that important first step of meeting with Jeff Zufall and his team at Capital Advisory Group is the biggest step you'll need to take, because they make everything else so easy. They will help you get a plan. They'll help you look at all the numbers for you. They'll take a look at your past tax returns, maybe even help you get a little money back from taxes that you overpaid in the past. But what needs to happen is you just need to have a plan, and you need the best team that you can have on your side to make that plan happen. 2026 is your year. You got this, people. 636-394-5524. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president and general manager of the Big 550 KTRS, Mark Dorsey.
As we welcome in a brand new year, I wanted to personally thank our listeners for making 2025 a big year for the Big 550. We constantly strive to present the very best live and local news, sports, and entertaining talk from your favorite legendary personalities. That will continue as we celebrate 30 years. I'd also like to extend a very special thank you to our very loyal advertisers. Here's to a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2026. From your station that's nationally known and locally owned, the Big 550 KTRS.
St. Louis is home to more than 80,000 University of Missouri, St. Louis alumni, where they drive the region's economy and contribute to its social and cultural well-being. At UMSOL, more is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day. That's cvshealth.com/investor day.
This holiday season, remember those close to you, relatives that you spend time with.
Is this the airport club?
We're here.
Oh, that was fun. I love riding in cars.
And then, just can't wait to escape from.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark.
The Big 550 is the family and friends that are always here. Happy holidays from Minnetonka, St. Louis, KTRS.
And welcome back. Tomorrow we are going to have, actually Friday, we're going to have our weekly special brought to you by our good friends at Kuna. And Kuna has been helping restaurants in the St. Louis area for over 100 years. I don't know many restaurants in St. Louis that don't do at least some business with Kuna. On Friday, we're going to have Evaldi's, one of the great sandwich shops in our town's history. I think they've been around for about 25 years, but I don't know anybody who's had a sandwich at Evaldi's that didn't gush about it. Their hot sandwiches are really good. We had the cold sandwiches for Brooks' baptism last Sunday, and we recommend you hitting there, and we'll talk more about them on Friday at 10:30 for our weekly special. How about sandwich shops for you? Connor and I are big fans of Joya's. There's one out in your neck of the woods now.
Very close. I'm going to say
Are you
something.
too much of a health food addict to go there?
No, I just haven't. You know, I've heard tons about. I've never had a Joya's sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, they didn't have oatmeal and tuna out there, so.
We're getting a little bit over
everybody loves.
over the top. I didn't bring it up, by the way.
What's that? The
oatmeal, my dietary proclivities.
Come on. But what about a sandwich shop?
You've never been though. That's insane. You need to try at least try it.
And I've thought many times I drive past it on the way home from the gym, almost every day.
Defeat the purpose. Of
and no,
workouts?
Not necessarily. You can listen. There's always and besides, I mean, I don't sit there and take a calculator and count my macronutrients before I eat. You know, it's
Where
just.
are you on alcohol?
Where am I at? I'd like to never drink it again. I think it's the more and more it's poisonous to every single cell in your body.
Yeah, and then so
It has a negative effect on, but that doesn't mean I never drink. I don't drink much, but
yeah, like so on an average week,
oh God,
you would have
now 2 drinks.
It's like you're at your physical. How much do you drink a week?
Yeah.
How much do you?
In my physical, what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm giving you
At a doctor's
I'm
office.
Oh, yeah,
How much do
yeah.
you drink? How much do you?
So you
we're
you
good.
have maybe 1 beer, 1 glass of wine.
Yeah, when I enjoy beer is right after a round of golf, a hot day at Wing Haven. By the way, I'm going out. We had 12:40 tea time today.
You're playing.
Yeah. Bundle up.
Yeah. Oh,
The last text from the boys would bundle up today. It'd be a little cool. By 12:40, it'd probably be okay. My threshold is 40 degrees with no wind or 50 degrees with some wind.
yeah. The only day I told Connors the other day, it's the only time I've ever left because on Monday I didn't have to go to TV. I went to Norwood, and then after a half hour,
Were they open on Monday?
No, but
Oh, okay. Again, this is like calling the police chief when you get
He
you
walked-
get your car
he-
booted.
He just walked onto the course.
Well, when you think about it, if you are a member of a place,
the
and
other
it's-
half lives, Connor.
Yeah.
Huh?
Come on. If you are a member of a place and it's Monday,
Yeah.
it's closed, but you're not harming anything by walking 9 holes.
By that same
Right.
logic, if you belong
That's
to a
right.
gym and they're closed, you could break in and use the equipment.
No,
because,
that is absolutely breaking it in.
Yeah,
but that's the
yeah.
same. That's
No,
the
it's-
same thing.
No, he's right though,
outdoor.
because people, this one of the benefits of people who live on a golf course. And my great late friend Terry Joyce lived on a par 3 at Whitmore for years, and it backed up right to his driveway and pool and house. And we may or may not have gone out after a couple of cocktails and dinner and had a par 3 contest from his driveway onto the green. It's one of those things that the benefit of living on a golf course.
Yeah, boy, that would be heaven. I mean, can you imagine? Like the one time I've actually lived on a golf course was for 6 days, like last year at Hilton Head, and the place was right there, and like the
So Harbor Town golf links.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you play it?
Of course.
How is
I
it?
played it and paid for it, and then at 7:00 at night, when nobody was out there, like the grandkids said, "Where's Papa?" And-
You're chipping and putting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I go, oh my gosh! If I had one,
And
I
nobody
would-
said anything to you.
no.
18. Did you get home in 2?
No.
Was wind in the face coming off the
Did not.
water?
I remember it well, painfully.
That's the interesting hole on that course, I think. But it looks like a great course. I've always thought that's a course I'd love to play.
Alex had a good round. Yeah. All right. Top 5 sandwich places here from one of our texters. LeGrand's, which is really good. Blue City Deli, unbelievable. Vivola's,
Which is right here, Frank, and you've still never tried them,
Yeah.
but they're right over there on Shoots.
Joya's, and then how about
The Gramophone, yeah, over Jill's been telling you to try that place.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the
beer
Grove.
is a health food, Steve. There's a pork chop in every bottle.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I take that health food, as I said, on a hot day coming off the course. There's never anything better you can drink than a nice, cold, icy beer on a hot day after golf.
So your other drink per week would be a glass of red wine, I imagine.
No.
Yeah. It would be
Probably-
just 2 beers.
No. It would actually be probably a bourbon.
All right. Nice. Connor, we have one more break?
We do.
All right. We'll be right back.
This holiday season, remember those close to you, relatives that you spend time with.
Is this the airport club?
We're here.
Oh, that was fun. I love riding in cars.
And then, just can't wait to escape from.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark.
The Big 550 is the family and friends that are always here. Happy holidays from the Talk of St. Louis, KTRS.
This is Mariah, 3rd generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT IT pros go to school there too to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The best fishing expo in the Midwest is the Let's Go Fishing Show January 2nd through the 4th at Gateway Convention Center in Collinsville. Huge discounts on the latest boats, premier fishing gear, resorts, and guided services. Free seminars, free parking, and free fishing pond. Win prizes, coupons at letsgoshows.com.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've got some important news from our friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. You know they're locally owned and family operated. More importantly, they've been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. That great offer that they have on windows at Dalco has now been extended through the end of the month, so you can still earn a $600 tax credit on new windows. Plus, Dalco has upped the ante to an additional $260 credit per window for up to 10 of their Elite Series windows with 0% financing for up to 18 months. That's up to $3,200 in credits. The Energy Star tax credit offer is ending forever and will not return. So you've got to act fast. This incredible offer ends through the end of the month. So you call today, 314-298-7300 to get up to $3,200 in credits for up to 10 new energy-efficient windows. Or go online, DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. If you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved with Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call 314-298-7300. See store for details.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. All right, welcome back. It's been a fun couple of hours with our friend Steve Savard, and we're looking forward to a great New Year's Eve happening.
What are your plans?
Yeah, Billiken game at 3, and then we're having some friends over. Monique has been making homemade chili.
I guess my invitation got lost in the mail.
I
You know what, though? You know, I got to tell you, the lovely Monique, I spent more time with her than ever before over at the KTRS holiday party a couple weeks ago,
she's
3
a
weeks
little
ago.
overrated.
And boy, what you really outkicked your coverage on that one, man. I didn't know we went to the same elementary school, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
and-
Joe Eichmeyer and
She was, yeah, and then in fact, her brother as well. So
oh yeah, John, her brother. Yep. So I think it was Gio who brought up the point is not many people watch CNN anymore, but everybody watches CNN on New Year's Eve because of Anderson Cooper and the St. Louisan from Clayton High School.
You see how inebriated they're going to be, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They've been pretty polluted in the past.
Yeah. We deemed him as the most popular guy from Clayton High School.
I think we said famous.
Famous.
Most famous.
Andy Cohen?
Yes.
Yeah, Andy Cohen.
Who would be Parkway North? Would it be you?
Oh, no. It would probably be, well, there's a list, but the most successful athlete would obviously be Brad Edelman.
Oh, yes. Long career in the NFL.
Number 1 pick, All-American at Mizzou. Yeah,
But he
I
would
go
not
Brad.
You would be more well-known than Brad Edelman in St. Louis.
Well, well-known is, I guess, maybe well-known, I guess.
Yeah.
Randy Carricker.
Ooh, Andy Strickland.
Randy Carricker, Andy Strickland.
If you want to go to the political side of things, it says Eric Greitens went
yes.
there.
Yeah.
And now this is more recent. Neither of you two would know him, but I would say if you asked a young person, they would know him. The record producer Metro Boomin went there, and he's probably the most current famous.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
No.
No.
Me neither.
But if you know hip hop and rap,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Schmidt is the runaway leader at DeSmet. If you're a United States Senator,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Vitello, close second.
More than Steve Stepanovich. Huh?
It's close. I think Vitello would.
I'd go with Bob Christian.
The former football
I love
coach
that
who was
man.
the-
But one of the pleasures of coming back to St. Louis years ago was, my involvement in the National Football Foundation and getting to know all these legendary coaches, Bob Christian, Paul Martell. Boy, the stories back and forth at our luncheons between those two. Jack Jones, one of the all-timer characters, Ed Velton from Ladue.
Yeah.
My
Brian
goodness.
Haggerty, CBC.
Brian Haggerty, Don
Dale
Heeb,
Collier.
Dale Collier, Kirkwood, who I played against, his teams, all those. But Ed Velton and Bob Christian in the same room telling different stories on one day is about as entertaining as it gets.
We're going to have an entertaining program, speaking of high school coaches, tonight at 6 o'clock on the Control Option Press Box. Rich Grauer and Floyd Irons in studio for a solid hour talking shop. And you know what? Here's something really crazy is Floyd Irons' record. I'm just going to tell you how many games he won, okay? And then both of you can guess on how many games he lost. He won in 35 years, 822 wins, 822 victories. So a reasonable loss total.
35 years?
Yeah, 35 years.
If you go 10 a year, which I don't think he lost, it'd be 350. I'm going to say 205, 210.
Pretty good.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, 176.
God.
But imagine that. Think about that.
I thought if I go below 200, that's being ridiculous.
822 and 176.
Pretty good percentage.
Yeah, 10 state titles, 35 years.
10 state titles. Yeah. That's now he was approaching that is Dan Rolfus at Incarnate Word. Has he got 9?
He may have won number 10 last year.
9 or 10?
Yeah. And
amazing
he's going
job.
into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame in a couple of months. Well deserved. Well, you talk about a guy who's on the sidelines who is really passionate.
Dan?
Oh my gosh. And the girls love him. See, I think you can be really hyper and really passionate as if you're not like mean-spirited about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I always thought this, and whenever I was playing whatever level of whatever sport, I wanted my coach to be passionate. I don't want my coach to be a dead fish over there. I wanted it to matter to him as much as it mattered to me.
Do you have an example of a mean-spirited one in your mind that
like
you're thinking
Bob
of?
Knight,
Yeah.
you know.
But he seemed to do all right.
Yeah.
Bob Knight.
Huggins did pretty well, too.
Yeah, Huggins did well as well.
But those guys, I don't know if that would succeed now. I don't know if you could get players to come there because of that.
Well, in more recent history, Nick Saban was that kind of coach. I mean, Nick Saban, I am a Nick Saban fan. But Nick Saban could lose his mind on guys in a heartbeat on the sideline.
But all the players seem to like him.
100%.
I don't think all of Bob Knight's players like
No,
Bob Knight.
that's true.
Especially
100%. And a lot of the
chokes.
guys that were going to be first-round picks always stay the extra fourth year, in Saban's stay there. Brian Kelly coached like a crazy man on the sideline. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
But he was.
There's a perfect example of that. Yeah, well, I guess Saban probably wasn't quite as
Kelly
nutty.
was a little bit more reserved at LSU, but he had moments at Notre Dame when he would undress his quarterback almost after every series in front of the entire stadium and on national television, and that is counterproductive.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
and that would really hurt recruiting. Yeah, I mean, if you're a parent, it's like one time Bob Knight called Rich Grauer and said, "Look, I'm interested in recruiting Steve, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions." Because I'm not going to put in all this time to recruit him unless you can tell me. Because I'm going to ride him hard. I am going to bust his A. I'm going to make him the best player he can, but I will ride him like a jockey. Yeah. And so he goes, okay, I'm going to go to Steve. And he went to Steve and said, this is what Bob Knight said. He's going to recruit you, but this is what he said. Steve said, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Instead, he went with the mild-mannered Norm Stewart.
Yeah, not exactly mild-mannered, but
sarcastic.
certainly different than Bob Knight.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the program. Everybody have a great new year. We'll be back on Friday. The Carney Show next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president and general manager of the Big 550 KTRS, Mark Dorsey.
As we welcome in a brand new year, I wanted to personally thank our listeners for making 2025 a big year for the Big 550. We constantly strive to present the very best live and local news, sports, and entertaining talk from your favorite legendary personalities. That will continue as we celebrate 30 years. I'd also like to extend a very special thank you to our very loyal advertisers, here's to a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2026. From your station that's nationally known and locally owned, the Big 550 KTRS.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investorday. That's cvshealth.com